Get ready for what's probably the greatest entertainment news talk show out of Austin, Texas. Get ready for everything entertainment news and talk. And now, here's your host, Clint Baker.
Hey, gang, that's not Clint Baker. What the fuck's going on here?
That's
Jesus
me.
Christ.
It's me.
Hey, that's not a green background? Yeah, it is. It's green. That's not supposed to be. Hey, now it's red. We're having technical difficulties today, so thank you for being patient. This is Clint Baker coming to you live from Cedar Park, Texas, outside of Austin. And, yeah, we got a crazy show today, but before we get started, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. That's right. Just click that button. Here's our Patreon information if you want to help this failing operation. Let's get my good buds in here. We got Curtis and Aaron. How you guys doing today?
Doing okay. Curtis, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Happy Friday to everybody out there. Yeah, thank you for bearing with us. This was not a last minute thing. We've been working on it since like 4:30 and just all kind of shenanigans decided to attack us, but that's all.
Yeah, lots of shenanigans. All right, but Tom's doing great, so that's good. Boy, oh boy, what a crazy day. And we don't have our Facebook people in with us. That's what we've been waiting for. We've been trying to get the Facebook people in to the show, and I've been having some. I use an outfit called Restream, where I'm able to restream up to 5 different platforms at the same time. But if you have technical difficulties and you come on late, sometimes it doesn't pop up to some of the platforms. So, to all of our people out there who can't hear us, sorry. And maybe I'll apologize next week, since you can't hear us now. But, yeah. So how are y'all doing? Guys, we got, for those of you who are new to the show, we got Aaron Foote right here, resident Diablo expert. And we got CB3, resident Thor expert. Yes, right there. And we're having a great time. And Clint, resident bullshit expert. So Tom is an expert at flying jets. I wouldn't call him an expert, but he's proficient. I don't know if any of you guys haven't seen Top Gun yet. You need to get out there to the theaters and see it. I heard it's awesome in 4D. So if you can get one of those things where you got the rumbling seat in IMAX, it's supposed to be insane, which is really cool. I don't know if you've seen recently. There was James Corden, the Late Show guy. He went to the airport and he said, I don't know what's going on, but Tom Cruise asked me to show up out here. He shows up. Next thing you know, Tom Cruise throws him in the cockpit of a jet and takes him up in a jet. And Tom Cruise can fly jets. He owns some, yeah. And it's insane. He takes James Corden upside down, and they did a few planes, and it's pretty insane. I think it's really cool. I really enjoyed the movie. I think it's really neat to see the real G's. I'm not talking about gangsters, but I'm talking about the real G's affecting him as he's taking off of an aircraft carrier. You could see him
his cheeks go back,
pull back, and all that, and It's a genuine thing that you could have him in a fake cockpit and a fake cockpit and CG that thing. But it was cool that they did it for real, and I really enjoyed the movie. So, and apparently I'm not the only one. But the big question is, movies are back. The big question is, did Tom Cruise just save the film industry? Hold on just a second. Aaron's got something important to say. What's up, dude?
Well, I was going to say I love staring at my face. If I could get a little preview.
Yeah, just look up here.
Well, that's where the camera is.
Yeah, that's right there. So
no, I love you. I love you. I'm just telling you, poking your shoulder.
All right. Yeah, if you can't see, just look at the camera right in the eye, right there.
Oh, right there.
Just look right in there.
Right in it.
Did Tom Cruise just save the film industry? This is the big question. Did he? Clint, why would you say that? Because people are going back to the movies. And I know, Curtis, that gives you gag impulse, right?
Why would you say that?
Why would I say that? The reason I would say that is because we've had young people going to the movies. And that hasn't been hard to do. And comic book films have been bringing people out. You had Batman bring people out. You had Spider-Man bring people out. Doctor Strange bringing people out the whole time. King Kong, brings people of all ages back in the middle of the pandemic. But now all of a sudden, you got a whole different demographic of people that are going to the movies that haven't been going to the movies. And the thing about that, is that's habit forming. People are creatures of habit. So if all of a sudden I go to a new convenience store that I would never go to because I'm a 7-Eleven guy, but all of a sudden I'm almost out of gas and I stop at a QT, and which is a Quick Trip, which is another place that I have. I like 7-Eleven because they have all the good snacks. I like their sandwiches. I like their sodas. I like their Slurpees. All these good things. One day I walked into a QT, Quick Trip, and they have some really good snacks in that place. They got hot dogs and egg rolls and corn dogs and all the health food that I like to eat. No, I'm just saying, they had all kinds of cool stuff. Everyone was really friendly. They had a whole deli set up with all kinds of great sandwiches. And they just had a bunch of good stuff in there. I would have never stopped in there. I just happened to stop in there. And now I stop in there all the time. And people are creatures of habit. I go to grocery store almost every day that I work. I work a couple of different jobs, and there's one job that I do 3 days a week, and every day on the way home, I go to the grocery store, and that's my routine. Well, if people's routine is to sit at home and watch stuff on streaming and never get out of the house, and they do it for 3 years, they're going to keep doing that. But if all of a sudden they go out and see Top Gun and they had a good time and they had forgotten how much fun it was and they have a great experience, you know what? Next time, they might go back out again when it's maybe not for the Black Adam movie, but all of a sudden, the Orient Express murder, some adult thing that is an older demographic movie happens, they might go back out instead of saying, "Oh, I'll just wait 45 days to go to streaming." So they might Top Gun might have just changed the habits of a lot of people out there if they had a good time, So, what are your thoughts, Curtis? It's a good point. I mean, it's I know it's an exaggerated say. Did Tom Cruise just save the film industry?
Right.
But did he just cause a shift in older people thinking, hey, you know what? It was fun going to the movies. I survived. I'm alive and it had fun and everything's great. Let's do this again next week. Because most people, if you're like my family, I used to go to the movies all the time. I still go to the movies all the time. And it's and that's a form of entertainment that you do with your family, and it's just a fun, regular thing. So I saw every Indiana Jones, Romancing the Stone, 007, every action thing. Predator, which we're going to talk about later tonight. We're going to be doing Versus. This is a serious episode.
You're doing that Versus?
We're doing Versus. It's E.T. versus Predator. Yeah, it's going to be insane. I saw both of those in the theaters. I spent a lot of time in the theater, you know what I mean? So, did Tom Cruise just save the film industry? Curtis, what are your thoughts?
So, I don't think that Tom Cruise did. You know how I feel about Tom Cruise. However, it's not just the Tom Cruise hate. It's logic backing it up. Because let's be honest. Nobody saw Live, Die, Repeat, which had.
I love that movie.
But did you see it in theaters?
Well, I did, but
I did.
But
I have a movie theater poster of it.
But it was also, that's a movie before. That was before the pandemic.
I know, but what I'm saying is that his nobody was really breaking down the door to see Tom Cruise movies before this, and by the same token, if the sequel to Cocktail had come out, would it have beaten down the doors like this? No, come on, this is a sequel to a movie that should have had a sequel 30 years ago, 20 years ago. Top Gun is a good movie. I'm not gonna I don't like Tom Cruise, but it's just a good movie, okay? And so you've automatically got the Air Force people built in, they're gonna go see that movie. You've automatically got all these older people that want to see that movie because it should deserve a sequel, like I said, 20 or 30 years ago. The same thing would have occurred if the rumors now are that Beetlejuice 2 is going to happen. If Beetlejuice 2 had come out now, yes, the same thing would have occurred. So it's not, and I know that's not the point.
I mean,
I get your point.
No,
I get your point.
Well, I mean, 007 attract
Maverick come out this much later is almost beating a dead horse. Then is that kind of what you're getting at, Curtis? Is like all the fandom. It's like a new fandom because all the old ones died. And it's basically it's a whole new world of people that didn't probably even see the first Top Gun,
Well,
and they're
not
just excited by
necessarily.
jets. You think that's part of it?
No,
It's-
not necessarily. I like that's the thing. I'm not going to go to the theater to see it, but I will check it out. Like, like the first one was just a good movie, but like it was a good movie that tons of people just loved and they wanted to see
Yeah.
a sequel to.
Oh, it was
And they've been
it
waiting
was,
for a long time.
what do they
like-
call those movies that are like blocks?
It's gonna reach 400 million in less than 2 weeks.
It's gonna do well, but
Less than 2
not
weeks.
internationally, right? It's
It's
not.
it's
you think
185
gonna do-
it's 185 million international. So it's just destroying.
Well, Doctor Strange is about to hit $1 billion, or it has
Yeah,
by
but
now.
it's
hit $1
also been
billion.
out a month. This thing is almost is going to be. This thing is. I think this thing is going to surpass Doctor Strange. which
Have
is
you
a-
seen it? Did you actually go and see it? I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited to hear any news about it. That's how excited I am about that movie.
I've seen it in the theater. I saw it the day
You
it
did.
came out. Yep.
You did. The trailers excite me. The trailers have me with goosebumps. So
Yeah,
I
it's-
can imagine.
It's a
Top
It-
Gun or Doctor Strange?
Top Gun.
it's a fantastic movie, and it's a lot of really good word of mouth, and that's the deal. It's just really good. It's got emotions. It doesn't just feel like a cash grab. It's got a good story.
Well,
and
there's
it-
so
and-
much inherent fandom. There's the military inherent fandom. There's the if you love the first Top Gun inherent
Yeah.
fandom. So it has a lot of like automatic audience is I think the term for that. And it's a safe project because of that. But it looks great. It looks so much fun and exhilarating. Exhilarating. That's the word.
The previous Top Gun, the first one was just a phenomenon. People went crazy for it, and audiences just loved it. And it's been a movie that's it's out on 4K. It sells like crazy. It's a visually beautiful film, and it's just a fun movie. It's a fun movie, and so there's that built-in thing where it's like, cool, I get to sit inside the cockpit of a jet and imagine what it's like to fly through the air and dogfights and everything else. So it's a fun movie to watch.
Do you
And-
think can I ask you this?
Yeah, you can ask me. I forgot what was I going to say. Oh, anyway, it doesn't
Go
matter.
ahead.
Go ahead. No, I don't even
no,
remember.
I was like,
I don't
no,
even
no,
remember.
I was going to
Go ahead.
ask you,
What
do
were
you think a part of it is like we want our military to succeed? And this is a badass military member. And we think by watching this or paying these Hollywood execs this, that we're somehow supporting the military or we're rooting for the good guys, which is us. Do you think it's that aspect of it?
I think it's a fighter pilot and a crew of pilots, some of the best pilots there are, getting ready for a task. I mean, you should actually watch the movie.
Well, it's always been that,
before you
though.
pose a question. No, it's a
It has always been that. It's about rooting for the badasses, which are us.
right. Which isn't us. It's the elite that make it to Top Gun. Like those are the baddest of the bad to get into Top Gun, and those guys are super competitive with each other, and that's where the fun in the show is because they're all flexing on each other and messing with each other, and it's a fight to be the top guy. So
And well, Aaron makes a good point, but at the same time, like, because of course, Aaron, dude, like, what? Yes, like nobody. So
It's part of that. It's part of patriotism, or
well, it's just telling a good story as well because we've seen plenty of good movies and video games that were financed by the U.S. military and stuff like that. And they just were terrible. This one wasn't. But at the same time, like whenever I was talking about earlier, there's going to be a ton of Air Force guys going to see it. Half of them probably got in the Air Force because of a movie like this.
Yep.
Nobody like even if they made a movie about like the guy who wipes the planes down, nobody's going to the Air Force for that, bro. Yes, like they're going to see it because they want to see the best of the best, and like that, and they might end up being the guy who wipes planes down. but like that's why they got into it. So like you're right. I don't think this was like a conglomeration, because usually that just ends terribly. Like there are tons of games.
That was weird.
And
Now we're here.
and movies that are done in but
What was the one with Rihanna last? That was the
Battleship?
Battleships. Yeah, Battleship. I love that movie. But yeah, that's an example of a military paid movie. It was a terrible movie.
Yeah.
But I
but
loved
it's
it.
fun to watch.
I loved it. Yeah, I know. It's fun to watch. So but this is not that. This is not that. And you're right. I'm sorry, Clint. I haven't gone to a theater and seen it. But I can tell how good it is from the trailers.
You can tell from the word of mouth. I mean,
word of mouth.
I mean,
even,
if you just listen, like everywhere you go, you could sit at a restaurant and hear people around talking about it, and hear multiple conversations about this movie. And I feel like that's what made it do so well in the first 2 weeks. Is people went and then they're like, "Oh no, it's actually really good." Because you're like, "Oh great, this is a remake from." Almost 40 years ago.
Can I ask
like
you,
how?
Clint?
Let me finish fucking talking.
Right.
It doesn't matter. What do you want to ask?
I was going to ask about the movie itself, being ignorant, not watching it. I was just going to ask you: is it a lot of just sequenced action shots?
No, there's
Is that a lot of it?
No, there are action shots in it, and there's planes in it. It's Top Gun. You're going to see a lot of cockpits, and you're going to see a lot of maneuvers, and you're going to see a lot of going fast, flying through the sky at rapid speeds. Yes, it's Top Gun.
That's awesome. Awesome.
But you're also going to see emotional callbacks to the original series. You're going to see Goose. You're going to see. I don't want to give anything away, but there's Tom Cruise lost his partner, his wingman. You got Val Kilmer that has a role in this movie, which has been a huge thing on Amazon. There's a documentary about Val Kilmer. He got throat cancer. He can't even talk anymore, but he's in the movie. You see him. You see, there's a lot of stuff like Val Kilmer at this point. Spoiler alert: he's like an admiral, and Tom Cruise is still a pilot, and. After all these years, and because he's a rule breaker, but throughout his career, Iceman has got him out of trouble and helped him through his whole entire career. And so there's and that's all the spoiling I'm going to do. Go see it in the theater.
I want to see it.
I
want to see it now.
There's emotions and story and backstory and reasons for things. It's not like, hey, let's get a bunch of ripped, fit. Military guys that are going to be heartthrobs and have them competing to be the top pilot, and just remake Top Gun, and it's going to be just a new version of it and whatever. It's actually a story that's a continuation of the last story, and there's something to it, and it's a good story. Like, they did a good job of telling a great story, and that's why word of mouth is strong. That's why the people are going to see it, and it's also fun to watch, so people are going again and again. So that's cool. You have a movie that's rewatchable. Maybe you saw it in a crappy theater and you're like, damn it, I should have seen that in IMAX. Now you're going back to see it in IMAX. So anyway,
so I'm glad you said that, because a lot of movies too. That's one of the reasons because I don't like Tom Cruise, but at the same time, like, that's one of the reasons, because I do like Top Gun, and one of the reasons I steered away from it is because a lot of movies nowadays are just like they'll make a sequel or something just to build the franchise, and it's barely about the original characters and stuff. And from what you're saying, it's not really like that. It is a direct sequel, or from what you don't let me put words in your mouth.
Yeah, no,
but it's a sequel, and then it's not just a vehicle to build an IP.
Yes, it's easy to do a quick cash grab. Hey, you know what we haven't cashed in on in a long time? It's just like, speaking of E.T., if you were to do E.T., you better make it a damn good E.T. movie. You know what I mean? Like you could do a crappy E.T. sequel right now. You could also do a great one, but you could do a crappy
power
one.
Is yours.
So I mean, it's the same thing. It's like, this is an old, ancient IP that, like, hey man, if you're gonna redo it, make it good. And also, I'm already rolling my eyes before I go into the theater because I'm expecting it to be crap. Because you know what I mean? Like, look at all the crappy remakes and bullshit we've had over the years. I'm like, Top Gun.
I think Top Gun sounded like crap
Yeah.
when they proposed it, and we were all holding our breath. But oh my gosh, what is this? Top Gun 2? This is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's amazing.
I'll go look at the shiny things move real fast through the sky and tolerate the crappy story, but it'll be fun to watch shiny things. No, it's actually a good movie, so that's the deal.
That's so cool to hear, though.
Speaking of sequels and continuations, I didn't get to make a graphic, but Aaron, wasn't there a Diablo for you gamers out there?
Oh, yeah.
How many of you guys play Diablo? And actually, while I'm
chat,
asking that, I'm going to
chat.
look at the chat real quick.
I think I see some Diablo fans in the chat anyway.
All right, we got. I'm
about to go
now.
full
Melissa
Diablo.
K, you're awesome.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Mel.
Yeah, let's see here, Bobby. Me too. You guys are the best.
And I wonder if the Diablo fans in chat actually are aware of what launched
Melissa,
3 days ago, 3 nights ago.
Mel played all the Diablos. Well,
all of them
I'm gonna,
is air quotes because there's a new one.
Well, let me hold on just a second. We're gonna fix this graphic just to get you ready.
Well, you made a Diablo graphic for me.
No.
He's like, no. I didn't.
There, that's Diablo.
Wow. Look at that.
WTF. All right.
So good. Yeah.
So tell us the long-awaited mobile release, was that what it was?
Well, the mobile release no one was knowing coming.
All right. Well, tell us all about it.
Just like Apple has their little presentation shows about what's new, what's coming, etc., and they do this at E3, and different game companies have these announcer sessions, whatever.
Yeah.
So everyone, I think it was last year, E3 was expecting Blizzard Activision to announce Diablo 4. And everyone was pretty sure that's what they were about to announce. And he walked out and announced a mobile PC port version of Diablo. So it's not even like the next Diablo, and it is a new one. It actually takes the storyline wise, it takes place like I think in between 2 and 3. I think that's or it takes place sometime before 2, it seems. Anyway, it quiet launched 3 nights ago, a day early. And it's on PC.
It already launched? It already launched? Okay.
I've been playing it. I'm level 41.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, oh yeah. And it quiet launched to pre-registration people 3 nights ago. And so we played it all night, and now it's been going for about 2 days. But it's interesting because the people playing it, and they are PC and mobile port players. Yeah, you have to understand it was made for mobile. It was so made for mobile that even if you play the PC version, it still says like tap to click here. Or tap to tap, and so like they haven't done the whole port yet even, but you can play it on PC on Microsoft's like mobile game service, and then you can play it on Apple and other things. I love it.
Is it on Switch?
No, it's probably never going to be on Switch. It's Diablo.
What?
It's Diablo. It's never going to be on Switch.
Mel just said she got Diablo 2 and 3 on Switch. Just
they do really
for it.
Wait, Blizzard? Okay, we'll see if Microsoft agrees to let that happen from now on.
Because
but
best-selling system of all time. Like I don't know what that'd just be stupid for them not to do it.
But I'll tell you this: the game is beautiful. The game, even on I have an iPhone 12. Like the game is beautiful, even on mobile. I've heard it's even more beautiful on PC. We're testing graphics. I mean, I am talking in world chat with these other fans And we've been talking for 3 days about like how this game is and how it works and what runs, what settings, because there's a lot of weird settings that you kind of have to tweak. It's an open beta, is what it is. It's not even like officially launched. I think it's open beta, if not beta. But yeah.
But now, is it a game you buy, or is it a?
It's all free to play. It's all and
but
people make that point.
Free,
Beautiful.
It's not
for
one
free
of those,
to play.
what do they call them? What do they
Pay to
call
win.
them?
Pay to win.
Nah, yeah.
You're talking about pay to win model.
Yeah,
yes,
bullshit.
and we have that conversation a lot. We actually discussed that in the world chat of my server, because there's multiple servers. But we talk about that in the world chat of our server too, like how pay to win is this game. You know, people have their trepidations.
Yeah. Because
basically, here's the answer: you can pay. You can pay $100 and buy a bundle of stuff or something. You know, I mean, you can
That's
pay
what I'm
as
gonna
much
do.
as you want. But you're not paying to win. You're paying to grind for
to
better
get OP.
results. Well,
Are
you
you paying
still
to get
have
OP?
to do the grind. You're not buying equipment. You're buying the chance at getting better equipment, and so that eliminates a little bit of the pay to win because you still have to go do the dungeon.
Our young blood. Back on
That's my spiel about it. I think it's great, though. I think it's really
when
very
you wanted
cool.
to be better at a game, you played the best and you beat the best. You beat them face to face, not online. You beat them face to face.
Well,
intimidation
also,
is a true factor of human existence.
there is PvP. I haven't experienced it yet. There is PvP. I don't know if I'm not that level or I haven't found it or whatever. But no, someone in chat, who is this? Mel makes a great point. Diablo, I point this out all the time to people, is that Diablo, the point of it is grinding. So paying to win or get to the end, like
for the point
best
of it?
gear, that doesn't mean anything. You're not going to play Diablo anymore then.
You just said paying for the point of the game. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, you're paying for the point of the game. Like,
it's the whole point is grinding, and you're just doing
why
it
would
in
you
more
want to
fun
pay
ways.
for the point? Why the whole point of Mario is to jump or break blocks
Right.
and jump on Goombas.
What if there was a
You
cheat
have to
code
pay
for Mario? What if there
you
was
have
a
to pay
cheat code
for
for
it.
Mario that just got you to world 6-6? Right? And
There
you're just
are.
like,
There are
oh,
warp
cool.
zones, but you
Here's
figure
the
them out by
last
playing
boss.
like a real gamer, not just like buying shit. Like,
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's my point. And that's why, in Diablo 3, that's why they took down the auction house of Diablo 3 when they launched it. And then we're like, hey, guys, there's an auction house. And you can now go spend 75 cents and buy like one of the best items in the game for 75 cents or whatever it was. It ruined the game because then nobody's going to play that game anymore if they have the best equipment.
Hey, Aaron, summarize the difficulty levels in D3. That's Mel asked.
Oh. Like
well, you're just
through... Well, that gets into a deeper conversation. It's a deep question what she's asking because you go from easy to hell, and then you have like 20 levels of hell. Literally, like they're called hell 1 through 20. And they only get better drops, better item drops. It was hell and then torment and then nightmare. Yeah, I mean, there's like 20 levels of each of those. So, and you go to these deeper difficulty stages when you have more people, when you're looking for better gear, and then when you are bored and trying to actually like play the game and not in a mindless manner, you actually have to try at those harder difficulties.
Yeah, but you can't just like buy. That's what I mean. Like,
no, they took the auction house.
They're
away.
just taking gaming and turning it into like the rest of America. Just
That
like,
was
yeah,
the
buy your way to
argument.
the top. Like,
Yep.
yeah, sure, all right.
That's why they proposed the auction house, and then it was popularly defeated, and they took it down because it literally ruined the game for everybody. It was like, oh, I can just go buy with real world money. Like I can just go buy the best gear. Well, then why why did you buy this game?
I want to buy my way to the
That's my
top.
point. Anyway, this mobile game, which is a PC port as well, so it's on PC and mobile is amazing, and I highly recommend it. It's free. You don't have to buy the battle pass like I did and all this other stuff. It just allows you to grind more. So it's not like like I said, it's not pay to win either, which is nice. That's actually something we appreciate. But it is, if you love Diablo and want to play it on your phone,
you can
go get it.
all right,
It exists.
there you have it, folks. New Diablo mobile. Diablo mobile.
By the way, it's called Diablo Immortals is the name of it.
Diablo Immortals mobile.
And we're still hoping for D4 to come out maybe in 15 years. We'll see. But they surprised us with this mobile launch. We didn't even know we wanted, but I like.
Diablo Mobile sounds like Robert Downey Jr. Bought a mobile phone company to
Yeah, right.
to compete with Mint Mobile.
You're going Ryan Reynolds Mint on me?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's see what else we got going on. Speaking of Green Lantern and DC, just kidding. Yes. Phillips reportedly asked to serve as DC Universe advisor. What is this? That comes to us from Joe Blow. Wow, what's going on with our freaking screens? Let's fix that. Boom. I don't like that either. I gotta fix that. And then we'll do that. I don't like that either.
I don't want to stare at my face all the time.
Boom.
Some of the
There we go.
nice.
That works. So apparently, since Discovery merged with Warner Media to form Warner Brothers Discovery, new CEO David Zaslav has been busy restructuring the company. Of particular interest to Zaslav is getting the expansive DC universe back on track. Although the franchise has had its triumphs, DC movies haven't enjoyed the consistent success of their competitors over at Marvel Studios. Some have said that Warner Brothers needs a Kevin Feige. Everyone has been saying that for years. A single voice to oversee the larger DC universe, and perhaps that person is Joker director Todd Phillips. Sources have told The Hollywood Reporter that David Zaslav has asked Todd Phillips to do, quote, do more in the DC universe and potentially act as an advisor, though the outlet notes that Todd Phillips would not serve in an executive capacity. A knowledgeable source added that although Todd Phillips isn't an expert on DC universe, he has discovered a rapport with Zaslav that could lead to new collaborations. Okay, so what does all this mean? Todd Phillips, man, you're thinking, man, this guy isn't really an expert at DC, but you want him to head up the DC universe? Like,
you know what I had a question about? What are the DC hits that we're talking about?
We'll talk about that in just a second, but like, as I read this and I put on my if I put on my negative Nancy pants, I want to say, what the hell? You can't have a non-fan be in charge of the DC universe? Like, that's stupid. Like, Feige knows Marvel inside and out. That's why he's able to craft this whole thing. But if you don't like execs and you think of execs the way I do, you know, having had a Columbia Records record deal, I've been dealing with execs half my life. And when I think about those people, and I think about David Zaslav taking over Warner Brothers and he's going to look at all the successes and failures. For instance, he looked and they released Cry Macho, which was a Clint Eastwood movie that they just put it out knowing it wasn't going to make any money, but they had so much respect for Clint Eastwood, they just put it out. He's over here looking at everything and say, whoa, you put this Cry Macho movie out even though you knew it wasn't going to make money? What the hell's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, this is, he's calling them all out on their stuff. He's getting rid of people that have been there for a long time, that have failed. He's pulling in people that he likes to work with, which is what executives do when they take over a new place. They like to bring their people with them and their relationships with them and get rid of the old thing. A big reason is if you have a crappy track record, let's just get you out of there and get somebody new, because even if the new person is on the same level as the person you're getting rid of, it builds confidence because it looks like you're coming in with a whole new team to take over. And so and they like to keep the successful people. And I think in this case, they're asking Todd Phillips. You think they look at the numbers and say, okay, this guy made the Joker, and it turned into $1 billion movie, and so they're looking, and that
up to $1 billion.
Is $1 billion movie, and it was
Academy
made
Award
and
nominated.
Academy Awards and nominee, all this, also super cheap. I think it was like $50 million to make, and so it was like the most profitable thing ever. And so you look at something like that, and you're like, hey. Now, as a bean counter, you're like, there we go. I'm from Discovery. I make cheap content and make all these reality shows for cheap, and we turn them into big money. That's my guy. Like, with zero regard for canon or comics or the origin. I'm counting beans. I want more beans. This is my guy. This guy knows how to do it. Now, that worries me when I think of that. But if you look at it like... And don't worry about like, hey, this guy might not have a black belt in DC knowledge, you know what I mean? Like, but
that's fine.
But he knows how to win.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Todd Phillips' resume, I mean, he did Joker, he did A Star Is Born, these are as producers, War Dogs, Limitless TV series, Hangover, The Boy, yeah,
he's doing The Boys,
and like this guy has a ton. He did Old School. Like so he can do comedy, and the thing about this guy that I think about when I think of Joker, it pisses me off actually because it was a good movie, but I'm like, this wasn't really a Joker movie. No, this was a movie about a crazy person.
Name your own supervillain.
Yeah.
Name someone else.
It wasn't even a
Joker.
Not even a supervillain. This is a guy, a mental guy that goes off the deep end.
Doesn't have to be the Joker. Don't try to tag along on that.
Now let's duct tape some DC story names. Let's put Thomas Wayne's name on here. Let's put this. The Joker. It's not even the same Joker name in that movie. You know what I mean? So
my point about it is like, why are you? This is a great movie as a standalone movie. Why are you trying to make it a Joker film? You could just make up your own superhero. It would be amazing.
Exactly. Well,
it'd be amazing.
And then you put Joaquin Phoenix, who everybody respects as a good actor, and then you put Robert De Niro in there. It's like he cheated. He got $1 billion comic book movie by not making a comic book movie. He fucking cheated, and that's not even a fucking DC movie. It's not. That is. If you asked Scorsese or something, an apprentice of Scorsese to go make a dark mental movie about a mental patient who goes off the deep end, that's what that movie is. But you put a DC logo and call it a comic book movie.
Well, it's that added fandom.
Yeah,
adding that audience.
So all of a sudden, all the DC people go see it. Everybody who loves Joaquin Phoenix and owns Walk the Line on Blu-ray shows up to that movie. Everyone who likes De Niro shows up, and you got a $1 billion movie. But the thing that this guy can do is win, and that is what David Zaslav is trying to do.
He tells an emotional story well.
Yes, he's a good storyteller, but also not. Also, if you look at the Hangover, Hangover is a raunchy comedy, Old School. I mean, all of these shows that he's involved with, are. They're not. Some of them are stupid and funny, and some of them are serious storytelling. So the big question is, what's more important, being a fan of the material or being a good storyteller? Being a winner or just being a hardcore fan? Go ahead, Curtis.
So here's the thing: is that they're looking for their new Feige, and they hint that this guy might be the new Feige. They're not sure yet. There's still restructuring going on. Blah blah blah. But that's the thing, is that Marvel Studios existed before Disney bought it. So Marvel Studios was making Marvel movies with Marvel people, and they knew what direction to a degree.
They had like a 23-year plan of releases.
Right.
Like there's huge plans.
They knew kind of how they
DC has
wanted
none
to
of
do
that.
it.
You're right.
And so DC's building that. And yet they're still building it backwards too, because that's Kevin Feige is not.
So too. Yeah.
Kevin Feige is not necessarily he has Marvel knowledge. He has a ton of Marvel knowledge, but he's not like the Marvel encyclopedia. Okay, he has a general knowledge of most of it, but the people around him, he's got Brian Michael Bendis. He's got all of the people that have built all of the storylines that we love and the storytelling that we love are around him. Okay, and I think they've made some missteps. We've talked about that repeatedly. They're rebuilding this and that, blah blah blah, but like they still have their anchor, and DC saying this guy might be our anchor. And again, if he has limited, even limited like knowledge or stylistically, that's the thing. Like you were saying, he stole because imagine that movie and it wasn't the Joker. It still would have been a damn good movie.
Yep.
But would it have made $1 billion? Like if that was called Teddy. Here's Teddy, and this is his life
also
struggle.
dabbled with mental health, and that's
That's
kind
what
of
I'm
why
saying.
I got boosted
I'm not-
as well. But
No, but I'm saying you make that same movie, and instead he dresses as a teddy bear instead of a clown, and it's called Teddy. Okay, same exact movie. Everything else whitewashed. It's still gonna be a good movie. Okay, still a good movie, right? But does it make $1 billion? Does it make $1 billion? Tell me yes or no.
No, because there was a lot of coattails that was riding.
You could,
and I said one, but I just want to make one point here too, is that it's not always bad to have some oversight, sort of lay of the land.
Yes, no, I'm not saying that's bad at all.
Look at because it's not like DC has been, just came out with these comics. These are old comics, so like all the knowledge of them, even if you're not a fanboy, you can be aware of it. So then you can look at everything as like a business executive and say, like, here are the stories that we're going to push. So if that's going to be DC's approach, now I'm a DC hater. I'm sorry. I hate DC. I do. I'm not a fan of rich superheroes named Batman.
Fair enough.
so you don't like you don't like Iron Man? You don't like Iron Man?
Well, Iron Man had also his own intelligence. Batman.
You don't like Moon Knight? You don't like Moon?
I don't like Moon Knight. No offense, I don't like Moon Knight. But DC's approach to stuff. Oh, we're the dark comics, and then you don't know how to make movies about that. Like, I don't understand how they suffer so hardcore on their content. And if you do have an ad exec coming in and looking at everything because you failed so hard for years to come out with a good DC movie. And that's again what we were going to talk about, right? Was like what are the good DC movies? I love Wonder Woman, but it's like there's not many, and they don't just tell a dark story well. And it's like, what are you guys doing over there? Maybe an ad exec is what's needed.
Okay, Youngblood. Okay, Youngblood.
Yeah.
And this is what's wonderful about Aaron. He brings this breath of youth to the show, because that's the thing. For years there were no good Marvel movies. Like, it was Superman had 5
No,
sequels.
DC. You're talking about DC.
No, he's talking about Marvel.
No, I'm saying Marvel. There were no good Marvel
Blade
movies.
was number 1. Blade was the first.
No, it weren't.
Yeah. Just no. Superman came out in 1980, dude.
Those
sequels.
old ones, yeah. Those terrible push
and then we had Batman.
ones.
No, those are great movies.
They're great. Are you kidding? The
spectacular
Christopher Reeve
movies.
Superman is a fantastic movie.
Superman 3, maybe, but
Well, yeah, I mean that's the best of. But I'm telling you, like there were no, and they had Marvel had like some crappy like made for TV movies and some shows.
that's all
and stuff.
DC.
Marvel couldn't get it right forever. They just couldn't get it right. DC's gonna get it right. Okay, it's
Superman
just
is
gonna happen.
DC,
They've got.
though.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're saying DC had been making movies before?
Yes,
Marvel.
they had. DC owned the market.
Accurate. Yes.
There was.
I see what you're saying now. I'm
and
sorry.
I don't by any means hate DC, but I'm a Marvel fanboy. Like I
am too.
I'll admit it.
I hate DC,
but I don't hate DC. I would love it if they got their shit together. They can absolutely do this. They're going to do this. It's going to happen. There's gonna be a flip at some point, and everybody's gonna be like, "Man, why don't they make any good Marvel movies?" but because everything good is going to be coming out from DC. It's going to happen. Okay, it might not happen for a while, but it's going to happen. And like, that's the thing, though.
I don't think DC's movies even can be shown. Like, the worst of the worst, like the best of the DC villains or heroes are not even like movie theater quality. Like, you can't show the most exciting content of DC. And that's partly why I'm so disappointed in them, is like, you have so much rich horror. Like, why don't you go horror with it and choose a villain? I'm trying to think of one. The Native American one is amazing, but like, choose a villain that changes this genre from popcorn movie theater to horror, and then do a comic book just line of horror, quality horror. That you would have horror fans lining up, you would have comic fans lining up. That's where DC should diverge from Marvel. Let Marvel make some entertaining popcorn movies. Make DC do some horror stuff.
Well, they've been working on that already. They were James Wan was going to be doing the Trench movie. They put a pause on that as soon as the Discovery takeover happened. They put a pause on a whole bunch of stuff. They're going to reevaluate some of the things. The other thing too that is Walter Hamada, who everybody's been talking smack on for a long time. Apparently, he didn't have a lot of control before. You have Toby Emmerich that is stepping out, who was in charge of all the film stuff. He's out. He's going to have a production deal with Warner Brothers now, and he's not going to be in charge of stuff. But David Zaslav wants to make DC films like a whole separate thing. So it's going to be like Marvel. They're not going to have to answer to Warner Brothers guy. There's going to be someone in charge, and then we don't know yet who it's going to be. There's people wondering, like, hey, are they going to let Walter Hamada have a little bit of time to see what he can do without having an overlord that's controlling him?
I would like to see that.
Because he has had some success. With the Wonder Woman was an incredible success. Aquaman was an incredible success. These movies did well. There's a Shazam did well, and it was a very inexpensive movie to make. They're working on Black Adam right now, and there's some opportunity. And also, Superman is a huge character that.
Well,
let me finish here. What?
He's the everything superhero.
He's the everything.
Has all powers.
Yeah, I mean, and you can hate on him for that, but the storytelling is different for something like that. You put the drama on a character like Superman, you have to do the same thing they do with Spider-Man. You have Mary Jane over here, and you have the people that are, and you have to choose between saving the train full of people or your girlfriend. You either save Lois Lane or the people. You can get an almost invincible guy. You have to put other dramas in front of him. Same with the Incredible Hulk. They have other things that come up where he loses his control, or he does certain things, and he has to battle with that. That's the struggle. He's got an almost instant healing power. He's not worried about getting killed. Yeah, that's not the challenge. Yeah. It's the other obstacles you put in front of Superman that make him interesting. And
yeah, sure.
That's a good point, and that's why, I think a lot of people want the Snyderverse restored because they did go down a darker avenue with Superman, which a lot of people, admittedly, some people didn't like. They want Superman to be Captain America / superhero.
Yep.
And that's how he was portrayed in a lot of the comics. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time,
for decades,
you're right. When you can do, and that's some of the drama in the comics, Aaron, is it when you can do everything, you basically have godlike powers. But then the people, you saved the people that landed, that this plane was crashing, and then people on this boat, or you watch the news and people on this boat that drowned, that tipped over, are like, why didn't Superman save us? Imagine the weight that would have on somebody,
right.
Well, I can't, as much as I'm fucking
if you could
Superman,
be everywhere, why did I die?
But it doesn't work like that. Yeah. And
that's why we love The Boys. That's why we love The Boys.
Just
it starts to dabble into that dark Superman.
Well, just like Superman with Christopher Reeve, Superman 1, he ends up losing Lois Lane because he has to save the Hoover Dam from breaking. So he stops the dam and saves millions of people, and then all of a sudden Lois Lane dies, and then he flies around the Earth backwards and it makes a spin backwards. Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, yeah, and then faster than Flash, and
faster than Flash.
and then I love that because you hear Marlon Brando saying, "It is forbidden. It is
forbidden." Out to people like, no, Superman is faster.
It is forbidden. That's the age-old argument. But I have said for a long time, I think that making Henry Cavill so dark, if you look at how good Wonder Woman was, especially like in the Snyder cut where she's doing her thing and then like, here you go, and then gives a balloon to a little girl and then runs off and does other things. That's basically Christopher Reeve's Superman. You know what I mean? It's like, and like
that's a good point.
The way that Wonder Woman is the way that Christopher Reeve's Superman was. And if they keep a little bit of the darkness, but like that should be a phase that he's going through, and as he learns and things that happen, then he's all of a sudden finds the good stuff and then is happy and continually challenged. You know what I mean? But that should but I think if they made him the perfect good guy superhero, like then I was going to say the all-American superhero, but now they changed him. He doesn't say truth, justice, the American way anymore. He says truth, justice, and something else. I don't remember. But he would be good. Like you can make him dark, but then all of a sudden he does something nice for a kid or something. You know what I mean? Like you can
make him a Tony Stark. Make him a Tony Stark.
Yeah, well, he's not a mouthy smartass. He's not. No, that's not true to the. That's not the character.
Mouthy-wise, but just benevolence with like self-interest there. So, but he also doesn't have self-interest.
Yeah, he's totally selfless. Yeah, but that's the thing that you can play off of. Like Clint was saying, he's still human. So like you're gonna go for personal interest first. He could have gone for Lois, but he has to go for all these strangers. All these strangers are gonna die, but the person that I love more than anything is gonna die, and he chooses to save the strangers. Like that's a conflict. That's something that you can play off of. That's human because he's an alien or whatever, but he was raised human. He was culturally human. He is like all of his thoughts and feelings are human, and playing off of that is what that they absolutely can do, and like a lot of people like the direction that Snyder was going, but at some point too, you gotta like Clint was saying, you gotta let it up and be like, give Superman a good day. Like you don't want to see him beaten down forever.
And you need a good reason for him to be the way he was treated in the the way he is in the comics. And like I said, if they played it exactly like they do Wonder Woman in the Snyder cut. Like exactly, she gets pissed, and like if you remember the bank scene, there's a whole bunch of kids on a field trip in the bank, and then she's like does some super badass super fast stuff with the machine guns, and then she's like slides to a stop, and then like she gets pissed, and then gets them. You know what I mean? And it's badass. It's like, okay, I've had enough of this, and then get them, and like if you played Superman just like they treated Wonder Woman, it would be perfect.
Who raised the point here? I think it was you, Clint, about how Superman never gets to be himself because he's always dealing with these human issues of like let's break Superman down and make him human and have him
pull that mic closer, Aaron.
Oh, I'm trying. I'm gonna eat it soon. But yeah, no, it would be a tremendous movie. It would be so much fun if it was just unadulterated Superman, like using all of his powers. He's just like, I'm going to go around the world right now and kill every bad guy right now in 5 seconds because I'm Superman. So I'm just going to end all crime because I'm Superman. Because I can do that. And then I'll reverse time and go kill them again.
It is forbidden.
Let's make a Superman capable movie here. Is my point, and whoever raised it first, that was a great point.
You're talking about Superman 4, effective immediately. I'm going to rid the Earth of all nuclear weapons.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Aaron's talking about is making a Squadron Supreme movie, baby. You got to read Squadron Supreme if you haven't read it.
Well, what do you think? Like going back to Todd Phillips, he is not a comic book dude. He's not like but he's a winner. He knows how to make good stories. He knows how to make good movies. He's got half of these movies that I mentioned and stuff. He's a producer. So he's a winner and knows how to make a successful project. And like, do you think that's more important, or do you think it's more important to have somebody that knows a lot about comic books?
If you make a Blue Beetle movie, who's going to go see it?
Did you just say
Comic
Blue
book fan.
Beetle?
Blue Beetle. Who? Anybody out there?
Oh my God.
We made a Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Blue
Well,
Beetle movie. What I'm saying is, comic book movies rely on fans. If you go off the wall and make all this crap that, like, you're like, oh, it's gonna make us money. Like,
That's
the
you.
majority of your money comes from fans. Like, we know these stories. Like, and you can fans are fair. Like, well, not all fans. Let's be honest, but fans are fair. You can change it. Like, you can switch it up a little bit. But like, if you just get somebody in there that's a numbers guy and is not respectful to the fans, not respectful to the stories, like, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work.
Well, that's why we're cheering now that we heard Jon Favreau is actually writing season 4 of The Mandalorian as we speak. But that's a good example of what we love.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when they put, who was the director that is famous for just big explosions, and he did like Star Wars.
Michael Bay.
Yeah, Michael Bay. Yes, that's an example of, like, if you want to put someone that doesn't care about something on your IP, go ahead and hire Michael Bay. He'll make it look great, and he won't give a care in the world about it. It'll look cool, but the fans aren't. You can tell when somebody hasn't written or researched a background story. And it's very clear because it's all eye candy. That's what the movie turns into, is all eye candy, and not like story development or care about the characters.
Well, we still don't know what capacity this guy is going to be involved in. He might just be helping shepherd things along. Like, hey, if you want this to be successful, just or just give his input.
Might be like a stylistic advisor.
Yeah, or hey, that's a bad idea. I don't think that's going to make you money. People aren't going to like this. It's got to be fun and funny, and that dude's making hangover movies, so maybe he's like, hey, we need to make our movies more fun. Which would be a really weird,
Joker.
Yeah, considering you're getting the guy that made the Joker to make our movies fun, that's weird. But I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting. I just look. I had the fan in me had an instant like when thinking, oh, they're getting the guy that made the Joker, the movie that is nothing like what I would expect a Joker to be like, to make DC stuff, or to be in charge to quarterback this. I don't know about that. Yeah, let's see here.
What's chat got to say?
Chat says Batman needs to drop the Batman doesn't kill rule that was established in Batman the Animated Series.
So dumb.
Yeah, well, I think
it was established before that, but around that time. Yeah, I mean,
I think Batfleck already dropped that rule, because Batfleck killed several people.
And then there was Pattinson just beating people up.
Yeah, like brutally. I think he killed some people too. Honestly,
I think so too.
Yeah.
So Batman kills again.
Bobby loved Cry Macho. I like anything Clint Eastwood does. Yeah, he was 93 when he made that movie, I think, or when that movie came out. What? It's insane. Yeah, Clint Eastwood's old, man. He's getting up there. He's still cranking out movies.
Mel, we have not seen Moonfall yet. Bobby says not yet, but I have it. I kind of want to see Moonfall too. I kind of really want to see it. I was thinking that would be a good pairing for Armageddon versus Moonfall. We
I'm-
talked about that a while back.
I'm in, dude.
Oh. No, what was the movie where the other Earth, is it called Another Earth or Other Earth, where the other Earth comes in and collides and they all know it's going to happen, so everyone on Earth is like preparing to die?
Brace yourself.
What is that movie? That's what Moonfall would most be similar to. Not Armageddon, but it's with gosh, who was in Romeo and Juliet? Claire Danes.
Yeah.
So it's with, I think it's with Claire Danes, but it's where Other Earth. It's called like Another Earth.
Melancholia.
Melancholia. Totally wrong, but yes, that's the movie.
Is that how you say Terminator 3 in Spanish?
But
Melancholia.
that movie, I think, would be more similar to Moonfall. I think that would be a good versus, right?
Oh boy. Well, hey, let's talk about
Then there's Deep Impact and Armageddon. I mean, you could do Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Netflix for a second. Boom, Netflix. Bum bum bum. In the first quarter of 2022, it finally happened. Netflix had a bad quarter. It lost over 200,000 subscribers and acknowledged that newer competitors like Disney Plus and HBO Max were effectively putting an end to how the company had been doing business for nearly a decade. Now Netflix is steering away from the frenetic release pace and mid-sized films that made it a near-critical darling, with a new plan to make bigger movies and less gluttonous space, according to the Hollywood Reporter. All right. Well, look. Boom. Holy crap! This is really weird looking. I'm getting tired of having to fix this here. Boom.
It's Tom. I'm telling you, it's because of Tom Cruise. He's a leprechaun, and he's messing with all our shit. He's just look at him. Punch up shenanigans.
Oh, me pot of gold!
You took me pot of gold, and
You
now
son of a bitch! You son of a bitch! All right.
I'll play with your thetans.
Yeah.
Play with your thetans. Wow.
A major takeaway from this Hollywood Reporter piece is that while it appears Netflix isn't exactly sure what it wants to make, it just wants to make it more thoughtfully than it has for the past decade. This is something I've been talking about for a while, and
they basically, if they don't pay Clint Baker for this restructuring, like Clint, they need to send a check to Clint Baker. Clint
Bring
likes
it.
everything. Because he's been pushing for this and telling Netflix exactly what they need to do, and they've been watching the show, and they figured out, you know what, that guy was right, because like Clint's been saying this forever.
that's right. Because
sorry,
I
Clint,
know.
But you like everything, so aren't you happy with everything that comes out?
No, I am
That's
not.
the point.
You do not
Clint
like
likes everything, and he would tell Netflix, "Hey, this is crap, guys."
And I understand quality. That's right. I know all about quality. The deal is, man, I've been saying forever, they've been paying money to get super recognizable A-list people on mediocre movies, and then they really focus in on their thumbnail and get that person on there. And if they got a great thumbnail and a crappy story but an A-list celebrity on their movie, it's going to get clicked on, and they're great. Or people, maybe a few of them will even subscribe to watch this Rock movie or this Ryan Reynolds movie or a Michael B. Jordan movie, and then the movie sucks. And then what happens? Oh, it's cool. We got another movie. We got the Atom Project. That was actually a good movie. They finally got a good one, but they had so many bad ones. And I've been saying it forever, man. Like, dude, just make better movies. Like,
Can I ask you though?
fuck.
Here's a counterpoint.
What do you
And
got?
I kind of agree with you on this sentiment. I agree. I want
Yeah.
better movies, not more. But isn't the counterpoint allowing a prolific platform for 1 million different filmmakers to make, let's say, 1 million different terrible movies? But the counterpoint there, the counterpoint really is there of like, do we, isn't it good to provide a platform for 1 million different movies to get launched?
Yeah, but they're not doing that. they're making their own movies and making crappy ones. It's
but
now
they
now
make quite
now
a bit.
now you've
They
got
make quite a bit.
you've
They're
got
not all there.
you've got Amazon that is providing a platform for filmmakers, indie filmmakers that figure out how to get their films made, and it's really easy for people to get their movies on
Netflix
Amazon.
isn't
That's
indie. I mean, I thought
Netflix makes their own content for people to watch, and so they make crap. And they'll sometimes
I agree with
they'll
you.
sometimes
I agree, and I don't. I'm just counterpointing
they
here, but,
they make they actually make a lot of cool content with foreign actors that are non-American actors that like they have really good shows, really good series that are good. They're Lupin, badass. That was a really good show. They've got The Heist and a bunch of different shows. Several different shows that when I say shows, sometimes I'm talking about a movie,
yeah.
but it's mostly
good content. Yeah,
it's mostly the series, the series that they put out. But movie,
Prime?
but
Talking about Amazon Prime.
no, I'm talking about Netflix. Here, just in case you got lost, right there. That's what we're talking about. And like
their series, but not
their series are good. Like, but their movies are shit. And what they do when they continuously release subpar movies. I mean, they're like C movies that'll have an A-list actor in them. And when you continually do that, people all of a sudden are like, I don't even want to watch that. It's going to be crap. You you tarnish your brand and you make it so that people don't even want to waste the time. I don't even click on Netflix movies hardly ever. It like I did for the Ryan Reynolds movie, The Adam Project. I watched that one, but most of the time I see something with somebody, I won't even watch it. And it's because they've repeatedly let me down over and over. Now, a series that they crank out, I'll watch that because they have a lot of good shows. But I'm talking about movies, and they're finally figuring out, hey, let's do that. Also, releasing movies on the platform doesn't do much. If you're in the movie making business, that doesn't do much. If you're in the series making business, that's great, and you got to figure out a good way to release your shows that work. And there's I'm talking about binging versus weekly releases is what I'm talking about. And you got to figure out what works well for it. And there's a great debate on that. I have friends that won't even watch a show until all the episodes are out because they like to binge. Other people other people will argue that keeps you coming back every week. But but again, we're talking about movies, and they've figured out because they have some of their filmmakers that they've decided to work with that are like, look, I'm not even going to work with you if unless I get a theatrical release on things. You know what I mean? There's people that they have talked to, and I guarantee you, they get Christopher Nolan in there. He's not going to do just a platform only. He's going to want theaters because that's how you make money. And these guys, now that they're losing subscribers, their stocks are going down, they got to figure out, how do we make money? Well, you've already got everybody in the world already has a Netflix account. So if you can't get any more subscribers, how do you make money? Well, you can do one thing. You can fine everyone who shares their password. Okay, that's going to piss people off, but you can do that. And then another way is quit making a shitload of crappy movies, make a few good movies, and release them in the theater. And if you get a hit movie because you made it right, then you're going to make, hey, look at Top Gun. They just made $400 million in 2 weeks. You could do that too if you made a good movie because you don't mind paying the A-list actors. You just mind making good movies. So, okay, I'm done with my rant. Curtis, you look like you're about to say something.
No, so what I was going to say is I would think that a lot of that drop too was the fact that Netflix was like, maybe we'll start putting ads in there. Like literally one of the reasons that Netflix was on top was because they changed the whole model. Netflix is the standard, when it comes to a lot of stuff like this. They changed the model. And what's up?
They have so much money to be able to flex however they want.
But they didn't have ads, and you could watch your shows without ads. Like I was staying in a hotel recently and had to watch TV with ads, and it was like, what the hell's going on here? Like,
what is a commercial?
Like, what? God, get back to the show. It's been like, I already peed. Like, I don't know what's happening. But so them saying they're going to put in ads, I think that was a big. People were like, all right, I'm out. They haven't yet, but
I think
But at the same time,
movies-
Clint's got a point. Like they kind of
Yeah.
cashed in on a lot of stuff. Stranger Things is going to be a hit for another year. Apparently, they're going to do one more season of Stranger Things. I've read things that it's not going to end actually next month. They're going to do season 5 now, and like they're the what is it? Oh, with the Hormone Monster, the animated series.
Big Mouth.
Big Mouth. They've
Big
cashed
Mouth,
in.
yeah.
They've just put that out the wazoo. And Big Mouth was a good show, but now they've got a spin-off show and all this stuff, and it's the same thing. And it's like, all right, okay, fine. Like, but it's like they've got this talent that either doesn't care. Like if you can look at the Adam Sandler movies, he doesn't care. He's just making movies. Like, and we're going for nostalgia here, or just like they're spreading their talent too thin, and it's just like they're not building any new IPs really. Like that's the thing. Disney.
No, that's not
and
fair.
to be
That's
fair,
not fair because they have most of the new IPs out today are Netflix. Like, you have to understand, no one else is coming out with new IPs. They are the ones being able to pay for the creation of new IPs, and they have been doing that. Series
That's a good
versus
point.
movies is one, argument, but
yeah,
no, they have the money to let a comedian make an animated series like Big Mouth. They
right.
have the money to allow that person to do that. That's valuable, even if it's
Yes,
not a good
I agree.
series.
That's-
Yeah.
And it is a good series. I love that series. But,
Yeah.
having that money, that flexible money to promote creative design without being some formulaic industry standard of a 90-minute film, that's very valuable that exists. Even if you don't like it, it's good to have.
They just shouldn't make movies if they're going to make shitty movies. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Make a series. If you use that money, make a series. If you're not going to make a good movie, don't fucking make a movie.
Don't make a movie. Yeah, I know. That's why I was saying, even with like the Joker, it's like choose a different bad guy. Like, make up your own. Like, make it.
That's a
Doesn't have to be
$1 billion
part of that.
movie, so we don't really get to criticize.
Aaron, you're making a good point.
I
Don't
guess
switch.
so.
Don't
Yeah.
switch. Don't quit switching. You're making a good point. Just stick with your point.
I won't insult the $1 billion movie.
Yeah, you can't because they'll say you insult a $1 billion movie guy. He just says, "F you! I made
Because
$1 billion."
I'm gonna yacht away right
Yeah,
now.
he's like, I'm I made $1 billion. What did you do?
He's running towards us. Throw money at him.
Yeah.
Get out of here, you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. I was like, cool. They're finally listening. And I was doing a little research before, and I found there was like 10 or 15 articles saying, man, they need to go for quality, not quantity. Everyone, I thought I was like, hey, dude, I'm like really coining this thing for Netflix, and I'm like, no, everyone in the fucking world has been saying that. I'm like,
did, and they all watched your channel.
That's right.
And they
They-
were like, you know
they all
what?
took
We're
it
gonna
from
rip that
me.
off.
yeah. I was like, dude, you need to focus on quality.
They're so big. They're so big.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they could do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's talk real quick about a thing that's going on this week that's kind of shitty. Ewan McGregor addresses racist messages sent to Obi-Wan co-star Moses Ingram. We stand with Moses. We love Moses. Update.
I can't
Yeah.
believe this is a thing.
Yeah. Well, here I got some things to say about it, but not this again. Toxic fans. Hold on, I got to.
Damn leprechaun Tom Cruise.
Damn, I'm gonna just get rid of that. Hey, look at there. Boom.
Oh, dear.
Oh, look, there we go. Then we're going to add Curtis. Then we're going to add Aaron. Then we're going to add Tom Cruise. And now we're all back right where we're supposed to be.
And he's like,
Glad Tom
I
Cruise
got
is
you
here.
again, Clint.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm glad he's there.
This is really unfortunate. I read an article before that before Moses Ingram had to deal with all this, telling her, hey, you're going to have to deal with this stuff. And I was kind of like, hey, man, don't be like prepping somebody against ahead of time for failure. I feel like I was like, dude, I almost feel like they're wishing that some assholes are going to come out of the woodwork.
Assholes
But
exist. They're gonna come
but
out.
yeah, but this isn't the first time we've seen this. We've seen it with other Star Wars people, and
Who's
But
the Asian actress
Kim,
that was
something.
injected into the storyline of like
yeah.
Star Wars?
I think
something.
here's the deal, man. I feel like there's assholes everywhere. The same way that there's people that will dig through 15-year-old tweets, 10-year-old tweets to try and sink somebody's ship that are obsessed with cancel culture. You also have assholes that are obsessed with on the other side of things that are
Racist culture.
racist. Yeah, but you also there's a weird thing going on, and there are quotas. There are things that exist out there that are created for good.
Equality,
Yeah,
for
well, they're
reasons.
trying to be good, but there is a tiny argument to be made for, like, hey, rather than telling a story, we're gonna go ahead and cast. We need this color person, this gender, this thing, and like. Are they really doing it that bad? Are they really doing it? And is it affecting storytelling? And people are getting mad at seeing. And is that guy a racist asshole, or does he just want a good story with it? And are people focusing too much on equality and less on storytelling? Is like, where does the rubber meet the road on all these things? I mean, there's a little bit of a leg to stand on for some things, because I see how sometimes. For instance, I'll put it this way. You go into McDonald's and you're eating, and you look up and you see wallpaper, and you see a white guy, an Asian guy, a black guy, a Middle Eastern person, and a Latino person all hanging out at a table, and you're like, hey, that's not real. You're never going to see all those people hanging out together at McDonald's. This is bullshit. And that kind of, and we used to joke. I mean, that was a real thing me and my buddy experienced. We were laughing about it. We're like, hey, look at that. But like, how many times, so.
I have 2 words for you.
Yeah.
I have 2 words.
Get a-
Black 007.
Yeah, I'm in. Bring it, dude.
Now, I am into that.
Idris Elba.
It can work, yes.
I've been
work.
wanting that. No,
But you're
we've
right,
been pushing
because
for
if
that
you-
for more than anybody.
yeah.
Well, Clint, I agree with your point.
Yeah.
Your point is, if you're changing a
So-
story artificially,
Well, let's
but 007 can be just a classification. So
Yes.
it can work.
I agree. So let me. I'm kind of getting off base, but without making my point. I think. I know there's a lot of YouTube channels, and there's a lot of people out there that are saying, "Oh, great, just another diversity hire." They probably, "Oh, look, and she's a woman instead of, blah blah blah." Oh, they're probably going to make this story all about her instead of Obi-Wan, just because they're trying to meet a quota. And there's I've run across all kinds of channels that say shit like that, and they feel and that's what they're selling. That's their business. They do that. They're like, oh, the people get outraged, and then send them super chats, and they make money off of their outrage. And like, oh, great, no wonder Batgirl failed. It gets 0 ratings. It's all about, they're just pushing this oh, sure, it's all gay and all that, and these guys get all fired up, and they get people wound up, and you have
That
these
hate entertainment culture.
yeah, you have all these people that are getting wound up, and then you get some moron that and the thing is we hold these properties, these IPs, these comics, these things that we've grown up with, that we've loved our whole life. We hold them really sacred, and so you see that, and sometimes they're like, oh, they're gonna change the gender swap this character. That's bullshit, dude. Like I want it to be like the comic that I like, and you get mad. And I think people need to have an open mind. Is what I think people need to do. But also, don't just change my content just to make it different. I mean, there's an argument on both sides for all things, and some of it is based on trying to be open and inclusive and nice and helpful and good, and some of it is based on being an asshole. You know what I mean? And honestly, the middle ground on a lot of things, the reality is a middle ground on a lot of things, and I feel like the country and the world is so polarized all the time. It's like this or that. The reality is in the middle. Is in the middle somewhere, you know. And so I get it. I get the feeling of like finding out something you've got some comic or something that you're really have been into for years, and then all of a sudden you find out they're going to change it, and then you're like, why are they changing it? Or it's because for a quota? That's dumb. Like, you know, I can understand getting pissed about that because they're changing your sacred thing, you know. But to get so pissy that you're going to go
attack
and you're going to go private message a young actress, you know what I mean, who's just doing her thing.
She was badass.
Yeah, she's really good. I thought she was a little bit too intense. I compared her to the bad guy on Cobra on Karate Kid 2, who like wants to fight Daniel-san and slides down the lights. I was like, oh, I'm mad, rah! And I'm sure they're gonna make it make sense later. Yeah, we talked about last time. Yeah,
what is
she
her
already
conviction?
had a deal with Lord Vader apparently.
yeah, and so
she was already working with Vader.
And so, you know, I thought she.
Is she so strong that racists hate her?
Yeah, I think she could have. I think she could have been. She could have been a little more fluid, maybe getting mad and then logical and mad. But that's not how she was directed. She was directed to be pissed off, and she did that thing. I don't necessarily like that character, but you know who else seems like a really nice guy that I didn't like his character is King Joffrey from Game of Thrones. King Joffrey, I hate that little motherfucker. Like, but
you liked him in some aspect?
No, I've seen him. I've seen pictures of him taking that actor. I've seen photos of him taking pictures of him taking a photo with fans, and he's smiling and he looks like a super nice guy, and the whole world hated that guy. And it's one thing if you don't like. You don't like her.
You can't separate that.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. If you don't like Moses Ingram's character, that's one thing. But to go and attack her,
yeah, that's ridiculous. If you can't separate that from a character you're watching, then you are the one with the problem, not the actress or not the person.
And if you're a moron that's like, oh great, they're gonna stick a female in as a lead, they're probably gonna make this whole show about her instead of Obi-Wan. They might as well just call it, you know what I mean, like Reva instead of Obi-Wan. Some butthole out there is getting all fired up by some YouTuber out there, and then he's gonna go home, go back to mom's basement, eat some Hot Pockets, and then he's gonna tweet some shitty messages to her and try to hurt this girl's feelings. It's really unfortunate because she's, dude, it's really exciting to be an entertainer and an artist and to go out there and succeed. I've done it to a medium level where I've actually done some fun stuff and I'm really excited. And this girl is like high profile, and that's the real crux of the thing.
She's making more money than anybody ever. That's a hater.
She's a high profile. She's high profile. She's on the biggest show, one of the biggest shows in the world right now. So I mean, like,
did you have hate?
If she was no, I didn't. But I'm a what looks like a white dude.
I was gonna say, I think when you reach a certain success level,
but that happens. That's
haters,
it's what happens. And so she's the fact that she's having to deal with this is just showing that she's successful in the first place. If she was a nobody, nobody would be messaging her. So congratulations that you've reached the level that people are effing with you. Don't worry about it.
Congrats.
Moses, don't worry about it. Those guys, anybody who's got time to sit there and message somebody who's in a TV show is a loser. So fuck them. You know, that's what I said. Curtis, what do you got?
So I had to move some stuff around on my table here because I know I'm gonna bang the table. This pisses me off so much. I mean, it pisses me off so much. Okay, for a couple reasons, but like mainly because like who had a problem with Lando Calrissian? Nobody had. Who was? No, we didn't have the internet like we did back, like we do now. But like everybody loves Lando Calrissian, like. And he was a black guy,
I know that broke records. He was the first black actor or something in like a sci-fi movie. He broke his own records there.
This lady's coming on and she's killing it. Like she's doing spectacularly. Okay, and yeah, she's playing a bad guy, but that's the point. Like, she's supposed to be a bad guy. And we've gotten to like our world has gotten backwards where we got these racist assholes mad about black representation. It's like, and it's not like that's not even a like. Should that even be a thing anymore? I mean, I'm not black. But like there should be more of it. But like
there's a
like,
bad way to do it.
she's not
and that's
playing. She's not that
Rose from Star Wars.
well, and that's
Like,
no, that's a good point. Like, but so if we're doing like some white upscale like thing about white people, and you just stick some black person in there, yeah, that's okay. That's bad representation. But we're talking about a universal community of living human beings, and yeah, one of them that has force powers is gonna be black. Like it's just gonna happen. Okay, like get over it. Like this makes me so
Mace
fucking mad.
Windu. What about Mace
Like,
Windu?
we got goddamn Mace
Who's
Windu.
coming back?
Like
Who's
that's
coming
like
back?
what are we even doing? Like it makes me so mad that people like this in the world exist. Like and among Star Wars fans. Okay, I consider myself more of a
There's
Star Wars fan than I do a Star Trek fan. But Star Trek has the better fandom. Like they have the whole Star Trek community is built around like unity and like one love kind of thing for the universe, because that's what it's gonna that's what's gonna become. And I guess Star Wars isn't there yet. I didn't know that this was a problem. Like this makes me so fucking sick. It pisses me off so much. Like give her own fucking movie. Like just to piss them off more. Like she should have like a trilogy right now and tell her whole life story, because this makes me so goddamn mad that we got to talk about this in 2022 because of assholes out there in the world.
Do you
like
think
it makes I'm sorry I'm cussing. Like it makes me so fucking sick that we have to talk about this.
Curtis,
2022.
Yeah.
Curtis, you look like you're ready to go beat some people down, man.
I want to.
Yeah. Listen to this, guys.
Me and Revo go get him. Me and third sister.
Here's the other deal is we're here. Well, for one, she made a post about it. She talked about it and said, I didn't even want to say anything because it's not going to do any good. That's what she said. She's like, she got like private message, direct DMs on Instagram from dickheads, you know what I mean? And she was like, I didn't even want to say anything about it because like, what is just make a big stink? And it's like there's still I mean she did. Well, you can
she was a nobody, and not to be mean, but she was a nobody to oh my god, she's amazing,
and she was like the fact that she was like, I'm not just like blah 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 trying to make a stink. She was like, I almost didn't say anything because what good is it going to do? There's just hate out there and I can't do anything about it. But I'm glad she did. But the thing about it, and also just to throw it out there, she was in some other stuff. She was in the Queen's Gambit. She was fantastic in the Queen's Gambit. If you ever saw that, if you haven't seen the Queen's Gambit,
I've seen it.
Yeah, she's really good. Yeah, she's really good.
I'm sorry, I don't.
But the thing that I thought about with this whole thing is that we're reading about this and getting fired up, and good. I think this is going to bring awareness to what goes on out there. But that's me. Listen. I'm sorry.
Okay. Does this need in 2022? Like
it shouldn't need it. But what I'm saying, the reason it's in every like newspaper website and magazine website and everyone's talking about it why is because this is Star Wars and she's high profile. The fact of the matter is, I guess so. I don't think there's that many people. I think the majority of people out there are pretty good. But if you have an article about assholes, it's going to get clicks. So we're going to be hearing about it, and this is a high profile thing. But I think the same thing, the same as the people that
the idiots are loudest.
Yes, the same thing that people that go fucking crazy with cancel culture stuff that's over the top. You know what I mean? There's a level of like cancel somebody if it's merited, but
bad people on both sides.
Yeah, you can go overboard, and the real people is just a minor percentage, and those people are usually the loudest, and it's because they have no lives and they're at home. They have nothing better to do than dig through tweets that are 10 years old or whatever, or have nothing better to do than to email
Fired up.
it gets some dopamine going and they feel important. Look at me, I hurt that person. Yeah, it's because you're a fucking loser, and the rest of us are busy going to work and
Can I ask you this actually objective statement about the episode we all watched with Moses Ingram?
Okay.
Which
the third episode? Is the first episode, second episode?
The third yet. That's tonight.
Okay.
But number two.
The third episode's been out for days.
I know. I'm just.
Oh, okay.
Get on that.
But yeah,
I've been in Vegas for 3 days.
My dad in the chat has seen it. I haven't seen it yet. No, I was gonna ask, but okay, let's not talk about the racist aspect of this.
Okay.
Is she being injected kind of a lot
doesn't.
more than anyone else into the story, like constantly?
The character is, and I will say this.
I mean,
I will
it's
say
like
this.
shoving it down our throat. That
The
aspect,
only
I get.
like the only thing that I'll say, because the Asian guy's there, but he looks like an Asian alien guy. The other
He's
guy was
cool.
there, but he looks like
It's
like a
Raiden.
Well, I know. Yeah, I will say the only thing that maybe production did wrong or something was like she just looks like a black lady. Okay.
I don't
And
think
that-
there's enough Obi-Wan myself.
Well,
I
fair
don't-
enough.
That's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
I-
There's more
but-
characters
but-
there.
Well, that's a whole different. That's not what you asked, dude.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But what I'm saying is that she just looks like a black lady. Like the other people are other races, obviously, but they have got stuff going on with them, and she just looks like a black lady. So if they had done more to her, maybe people like, I don't know why.
I can agree with that. I love that.
But
That's
like
yeah.
maybe people would be less objected
Give her some tentacle hair.
or something
Whatever.
that should make us even madder that a black woman can't portray a badass character, while other
Do
people
they have black aliens in this world? Like, have we even seen a black?
Well,
alien?
she's not from Earth, so technically she would be a black alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I really don't know what the problem is. Honestly, I think she's playing her. I think she's playing her.
I love her. I didn't even realize there would be a controversy.
Nobody wrote that character. Nobody wrote that character and was like, people need to root for this guy. She's about to. Well, no spoilers, but like she's not a good person. Like nobody wrote that character and was like, we want the fans on her side. But we don't want but that's the thing. Like you shouldn't attack the person because of the character they're playing.
Well, even like Joffrey,
I feel like her
Joffrey, he's written to be hated.
Yes, and she is too.
People are gonna hate her.
I think
but I don't even know why this is a story.
There's something about her diction.
You'll see.
Her diction, she comes in real hot. You know what I mean? Like she's like, and I feel like I don't know if it's like, you have like a lot of Jedi or different people are more calm and they speak more toned down, and she's like in there intense, but it might be it might
work her way to the top, baby.
Yeah, but she's a badass.
Sister.
It's how she was coached directed to approach it. So and the directors all seen that. So that's the thing. It's like people
That's why Vader's like, come on, baby.
Yeah.
You got all that hate. You got all that hate just sitting right
That's
there.
right. And you think people think like, oh yeah, I don't like the way she's portraying this character. I don't like this character or whatever. And like she has anything to do with that. Like she gets directed, guys.
Right.
She's fucking
It was
directed.
written and it was directed.
She's
and
got
she just
she's
Like,
got
not her choice. It's not her choice.
Favreau, Filoni, and Deborah Chow are all over that. You know what I mean? And Deborah Chow is quarterback in this show, but it's like it's funny, but yeah, like when this really upset me at first, and then I started thinking about it, and like stuff like that happens though. Like I mean. Not like this, but when you talk about like, I know they have quotas. I know they have people that to make sure that there's representation for all things in these shows. They have a board of people. Like I have a friend
Not a bad thing, but it's done badly.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is.
basically look at any Target ad, and then you're like, oh, that's how it's done badly.
And like It started getting done with the what is it?
It was
The CW
Rose from the Star Wars.
the CW shows like you would have all of a sudden a token gay character or something in every single show, and it's like it's just funny when you I would watch a CW show every single day of the week, and I'm like, okay.
Why?
Oh, there it is. You know what I mean? You start looking for it in different. There he is. Okay, cool. Or and I'm all about it. I think it's great, but it's like, but if you're like, geez, like, is this the formula now? Like, you know what I mean? It's just weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that it didn't feel that way to me. Like she again, she's portraying a bad guy, and like she's doing it damn well. Like I don't like her, but that's the point. I
don't see any problem with her performance at all.
You know who else I don't like? I don't like Leia. I wish they would. I thought like at the end of episode 3, I was like, oh god, she's going back to Alderaan. Thank God.
Thank goodness.
Well,
I guarantee you.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah, I know. I can see that.
This thing is fueled by all of those guys that are like that. There's a lot of channels. I don't want to name any channels specifically, but there's a lot of channels that will take any new movie that comes out, and they'll be like, yes, "Oh, great." Okay. Oh, great. Oh, and I see they put a woman in that role. Oh, yeah. Or, hey, this blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's probably a diversity hire. Like, blah, blah, blah. And they'll do that. And that's their shtick. You know what I mean? And you got
racist clicks.
You got weak-minded people that start watching these shows. And they're like, yeah, dude, they are screwing up my shows, like by trying to change things all the time and to meet a quota, you know what I mean? And like, and then people start thinking, and then they get bitter, and then they start looking for those things. Oh, they got a black female as a lead. Yeah, see that? They're coming in there to screw up my Star Wars. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, bro, that's not even what's happening. They just cast a black female, and like, but all of a sudden, people start looking for that thing. Oh yeah. Here's another CW show. I bet you they have another gay character. There's the token gay character. You know what I mean? And it's like, and like, it's just funny. So these morons get fucking fired up, and then they go home and direct message this poor amazing actress, and it sucks that we're having to deal with that. But again, I think it's a small percentage. I don't think that people are as shitty as the media makes us seem. It's just that the shitty ones get headlines, and so I don't even want to talk about it anymore because I don't want to give those people the time. We've already wasted enough breath on a bunch of douchebags. So I hope they get diarrhea in traffic, and let's move on with some fun stuff. How about that?
In traffic.
Yeah. Oh, great. 3 white dudes on a show? Oh, great. Just kidding. On a YouTube show?
Replace Tom Cruise with a black lady.
Yeah. Talking about other races.
Freak out.
Damn it. Yeah, it's just funny how stupid people can be, but it is what it is.
Mel.
Mel's awesome. What looks like a white dude? a white dude?
Well,
no, she was talking about... I don't know if Mel knows you are half Chicano.
Yeah, I'm half. That's right.
Whenever you're like, I'm what looks like a white dude.
Yeah.
I'm also what looks like a white dude. Surprise. I'm just a white dude. So.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's the surprise.
And all people can be racist, by the way. Some people think, all people can be racist. It's like, it's funny. I was thinking about that. Well, I was thinking about this story. I was just going off on different things, but any race can be racist. Some people think that only white people can be racist. That's not true. I know a lot of Mexicans who are racist. I know a lot of Mexicans that are racist against white people, and I'm feeling the heat because in school growing up, being a white looked like a white guy, but my grandmother didn't speak English. You know what I mean? And then vice versa. Hearing somebody say racial slurs against Latino people, and vice versa. And I know Hispanic people that don't like black people. There's a lot of different things in the world. It's just it comes from ignorance. And
wasted energy. Like
it really
wasted
is. It all it is people that haven't been around other cultures,
That's
other
right.
people,
That's-
and they don't know what to think. And
That's
so
what it is.
that's what it is.
That's what
as
it
soon
is.
as soon as you
Exactly.
spend time with other people that are different than you are, then all of a sudden you realize, hey, they don't like green beans either. You know what I mean, or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
So
when
anyway,
when I moved to Austin, and so I will say I said some pretty terrible things, about gay people when I was younger, and I was a young and stupid individual. But I'd never been around like a bunch of gay people or openly gay people. I moved to Austin.
it's
gay
raining
guys were
men.
and gay guys were like straight up hitting on me and stuff like that. And now,
Hallelujah.
that's I'm like at first it like made me weird, but I'm like, I am attracted to both sexes, and I'm like, yeah, I'll be like, anybody asks me like, gay guys hit on me, buddy. Yeah, deal with that. It's like like it's you're attractive, like that's a compliment, like that's a huge thing, like and they're just like and again it's just people, like it's just like
all the confines of thought that we place on ourselves of who we hate or don't. I mean, imagine if you just didn't hate people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like imagine if
How
you
much
just didn't have a
energy you
hate
save.
concept in you. Yeah, it's like just be open, talk to people. Is everybody like, yeah, I hate the guy that cut me off, but I'm not gonna go hunt him down for who he is or something. Like I can't imagine just wanting to hate.
So what we're trying to preach out there is, guys, spread love, not hate.
There you go.
Spread
There you
love,
go.
not hate. That's right. Everything entertainment news, love one another. That's what we're supposed to do. So, and speaking of love, why don't you spread some love and subscribe? That's right. Hit the subscribe button
I've seen
right
that
now.
button. I've seen that button before.
Yes. And hit the notification bell to let you know when we're on. Boom. Look at this mess. I'm going to get out of this screen.
We're
There we go.
always on, baby.
Yeah. Well, guys, at home, thank you very much for hanging with us. Guys, and on Facebook. Oh, did we get Facebook finally? Nope. Never did. I don't think.
Nope.
Oh, well. Maybe next time. Thanks for hanging with us. Our patrons in the house. Love you guys. And a lot of technical difficulty today,
Yeah.
but
Sorry about the mix-ups, but
I'm gonna
we
get
love
on. I'm gonna get on top of that this week. So, Curtis, where can people find you if they want to find you? You have a YouTube channel or anything you want to push, or social media? If you're watching this later, I'm gonna have our contact information for social media and stuff. If you need to direct message us or get a hold of us or friend us or whatever, we'll put that in the show description. So, Curtis, where can we find you?
I have a YouTube channel, Bakertown, on YouTube, and pretty much you can find me here with Clint on the news and on Versus. So thank you.
Sweet. Aaron, where can we find you?
I'm primarily just talking to you here with Curtis, so you can find me here next week. Otherwise, I do photography services, and you can find me on Instagram at foot.print, because that's my last name.
All right. There we go. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching. Patrons, love you guys. And holy smokes, man. We're going to see you guys next week.
It was fun.
Yeah.
E.T. versus Predator coming up.
Oh, yeah. Tune back in a little bit. E.T. versus Predator. Oh, sure. I see they cast another extraterrestrial in this movie. Just kidding. All right. Yeah. Always putting aliens in all the movies all the time. Hate it.
Bring it on. I love
Just
it.
kidding. All right, guys. Well, love you guys. We'll see you guys soon. Versus coming up next.